Hello everybody, welcome in to a brand new video. We are going to have a deep dive into habits today. Literally the foundations of what creates such a successful weight loss journey. Your foundations are literally your daily habits, your non-negotiables, but also the routines that surround getting that habit done. So a daily habit in itself could be something as simple as doing 10,000 steps, and then the routine surrounding it is where exactly you place it in your day. So if we do take the steps, for example, it may be your after work routine. Coming home from work, getting changed into your activewear, getting right out the door, heading down to the local park, whether you've got a puppy with you or just by yourself, popping in your earphones, listening to an audiobook, a podcast, some music, or just literally the leaves blowing in the wind if that's what you need at that point, getting your steps done and then coming home from that routine. But if we scale it back a bit, I know it can be quite overwhelming to know exactly what habits you may need to bring into your lifestyle at the moment, and also what's routines to surround them with. At the start of my health and fitness journey, I felt so overwhelmed with the amount of work I knew I needed to do to get from where I was feeling so unhappy, feeling low in confidence, feeling like I know I needed a change, and knowing exactly how I wanted my life to look, but not knowing how to get from A to B. So because of that, I have made it super simple for you all. There is honestly 3 main foundations and habits that I would implement into your lifestyle right at the beginning of your health and fitness journey to see you start to move from A to B. These are beginning habits though. You can build on them, and I will touch on that later, and you should build on them, but we do need to start at the basics and make sure we can nail that before we build on it, because that is the way your brain works. Overwhelming your brain does no good, and you can probably already know and tell that from perhaps your past experiences, but we need to make sure we start at small and build from there. So the main 3 habits I would implement into your lifestyle at the moment, if you are lost on your health and fitness journey or just feeling simply overwhelmed, cover 3 different aspects of wellness overall. The first being movement, the second being your nutrition, and the third being you or self-care. So if we start with movement, for example, I know I mentioned the example of 10,000 steps earlier, but that is not achievable for every single person. Yes, for someone like myself, it may be quite easy with my lifestyle and my job, but not everyone has that same level of space in their day-to-day to be able to achieve something like that. And to be honest, the average person does not actually move enough day to day. So just simply getting some sort of movement in general is going to be better than not moving at all. And if we think about a weight loss journey, we do want our energy balance scales to become unbalanced, so we are using more energy than we are consuming. So more movement is going to be the better in that regard. So if you are someone who currently isn't moving on a day-to-day basis, that would be your first habit to implement, making sure you are getting some level of movement. It could be as simple as going out on a 10-minute walk. It could be as simple as getting a yoga or a Pilates session in. It could be a gym session that day, and it doesn't necessarily need to be the same day to day. It can switch up that form of movement, whether it be a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday, whatever you feel like that day. It's better to get your body moving than not. Now, number 2 is nutrition, specifically tracking your food in some way, shape, or form. Now, I do not suggest going straight to MyFitnessPal, downloading it, and starting to track both your calories and macros at once, because I have done that in the past, and again, it often results in a fail if you haven't built up the habit correct. So when I say tracking your food, I mean like a food diary. So grab your phone out, get a notes page up on the app, and literally every single time you eat something that day, make sure you write it down exactly what it is. If you have quantities, even better, pop those down as well. And if you take a photograph of your food, attach it into the note so you've got that to refer back to. And by the time you get to the end of the day, adding a little reflection at the bottom of how you felt that day. Were you super full the entire day? Did you feel hungry? Were you completely satisfied after every single meal? And you can reflect back on how that day ended up contributing to your overall goal. The aim of tracking your food here is not to hit calories, not to hit macros, just as I said at the start. It is more to increase your awareness about the amount and the type of food that you're eating. If you're on a weight loss journey, amount counts for a lot in terms of the results that you'll see. So you need to make sure with that reflection, you are looking back on it and being like, did I eat too much today? Or did I actually feel satisfied after every single meal? Or did I actually not eat enough if I was super, super hungry all the time? And in terms of how you felt, not every single food is going to agree with your stomach and timings of that food as well. For me, having spicy food before bed, not a good idea because my body does not have time to digest it properly and I end up having acid reflux and things like that. Making sure you're aware of that stuff is going to do you wonders in the grand scheme of your weight loss journey. And lastly, number 3 is self-care, and it comes under the you umbrella because there is no point nailing every single aspect of your weight loss journey if you become a shell of a human in the process. Because sometimes on a weight loss journey, it can be quite tough in terms of our mental strength of the things we may need to sacrifice along the way. So very important to make sure we look after our mind in the process. So for this one, the habit that would be best to implement is making sure you incorporate some sort of self-care in your day-to-day. And it does not need to be big. Just as movement, 5 minutes a day of some sort of self-care exercise is absolutely huge and compounds to spending a bit of time every single week on yourself and filling up your cup. So it could be as simple as journaling for that day. Getting out on a walk can also fall under a self-care task. It could be running yourself a hot bath at the end of the day, or simply just watching your favorite YouTube video and not having to let your brain think about anything in that moment. So the next thing to talk about is how long you are going to do these habits for. Now you know your movement, your nutrition, as well as your you section. We want to make sure we give these habits a chance to solidify into our routine and into our lifestyle. And on average, that takes at least 30 days to become an unconscious action in our day-to-day. Once you have nailed them, once you feel like you don't need to tick off the habit trackers anymore or even think about it when you wake up, once it is a thing that you just do as much as brushing your teeth, that's when you can start to look at scaling those habits. So something like daily movement, for example, your goal was to just do some sort of movement every single day for 30 minutes, whatever that time frame may be. You may now incorporate it to be 3 gym sessions a week and maybe 6,000 steps per day, something along those lines. So you already have the basis in play where you might get out on a walk a couple times a week, or you might already go to the gym maybe once, maybe twice a week. And then all you're doing is scaling that up slowly and slowly until you bring it into being that habit and into being that routine that you want in your lifestyle long term. For your tracking, it may be then bringing in some sort of meal prep to every single week or meal planning. If you are at the latter end of your health and fitness journey or have already got some of these habits in place, it may be moving into MyFitnessPal and maybe tracking your calories and macros and just getting better and better and better at that. And then for the self-care side of things, it may be bringing in a section of your weekend or whatever day suits you best, whether it be 30 minutes, half an hour, half a day of getting out of the house and doing an activity that serves you. And honestly, this habit only really needs to be scaled if you know you have a bigger cup that needs to be filled. A lot of people will actually be okay with spending 5 to 10 minutes every single day or varying those levels depending on the type of day they have had in order to fill up their cup. But some people may need a lot more, especially if they have a job that takes a lot of them. So if you feel the need to have to scale it up, making sure you're setting aside more time throughout the week in order to fill up that cup. And as per any habit, consistency is key in this area. It does not need to be perfect day to day. You may miss a day here and there, and that's absolutely okay. My biggest piece of advice is just get back onto it the next day. Never skip 2 days in a row and just be consistent with everything, because consistency over time compounds into large efforts that help you reach your goal easier. So with that, I do have a little free resource for you guys. If you are someone who is quite overwhelmed in their weight loss journey at the moment, it is called the Clarity Code, and it's a custom roadmap to your specific routines and habits. Because of course, everything I have gone across in this video is very general in nature. It may not suit you specifically, or certain aspects of it may or may not. So this one is completely custom to you. You fill out a questionnaire regarding where you are currently up to in your weight loss journey, and I give you over a custom roadmap to exactly what habits and what routines you may need to work on at the moment, and how to do that with tips and tricks as well. It is literally something that I know shouldn't be done for free. It is step one in the process of what I take girls through when they come through the Limitless Blueprint, which is my one-on-one personalized coaching. Basically already ticking step one off there, nice and easy. So remember, this is going to be, again, weird to say. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. As usual, there is a new video coming out every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Australian Western Standard Time. It'll be a mix between sit-down videos just like this one, give you guys over some tips and tricks, but also things like last week where I took you along for a training week in my life. But other than that, guys, I hope you really enjoyed. Implement is your biggest thing here. If there is something that resonated with you, put it in your routine right away. But for the time being, I will see you guys all next Tuesday.